Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating this gorgeous eye look for you using the new Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette. Here is the palette. I think the packaging is super cute, super adorable, and has just like kind of like a luxe feeling to it. So once you open the palette, you have 9 gorgeous shades that are nude in color, but basically catered to people who have medium to dark skin tone. Okay, so if you guys are not aware, Huda Beauty came out with these little palettes maybe about maybe about a month ago at this point. Now the little 9-pan palettes are not new to her collection, but she did come out with new ones, and you know she always comes out with maybe like a different theme. At first we had the kind of like the basic ones, and then we had the jewel tones, and then we had precious stones, and then we've had some neon ones, and now we have the new collection, and I think I'm missing a few in between. Now, she came out with 3 of these palettes that are called nude. So we have a nude light, they have a nude medium, and they have a nude rich. I decided to pick up the nude rich because this particular color scheme really spoke to me and how deep the shades were. So once again, these are the 9 beautiful shades right here, and then you do have this nice full-size mirror that runs the full size of the palette. This palette retails for $29 and can be purchased from shophudabeauty.com, Sephora online, Sephora Stores, and anywhere else that carries Huda Beauty. Now, originally I was on the fence about actually picking up this palette, as I talked about it in one of my Will I Buy It videos, because in the past some of these palettes have just kind of been hit or miss. Okay, so I don't know if you saw my video when I did the neon palette, which was the neon green one. I was just like, this is not good. A lot of times what can happen sometimes with these palettes, I feel like the mattes are a little pretty chalky. They just don't perform well. And then the shimmers, they are very, they have a sticky formulation. They're kind of mushy. They're very saturated and can blend well when you like use your finger or you just do a swatch. They look amazing, but then sometimes when you put them in your eye, they're just kind of crumbly or don't really adhere. So you know, these palettes, I was just like, I'm on the fence. They look gorgeous, but I just don't really know if I want to pick it up. And then on the other side, it's like, girl, you really just don't need it. But I'm like, it's pretty, I want it, you know, story of my life, whatever. So I thought about it and I was like, well, I think I'm gonna pick it up, but I'm gonna wait till the Sephora sale. So I actually picked up my palette during the Sephora VIB sale. So if you caught my video where I did my little haul / my recommendations, you know that I picked up this palette. So I'm here today to create a look for you. And then I'm actually gonna kind of go whole and do my full face, since I'm not doing like a 3 palette, one palette, 3 looks. That's how you say it, okay? For you today, because those videos kind of go on and on and on. So I was like, okay, well, I have time to kind of do my whole face here. So let's go ahead and jump into some swatches. Then we're going ahead and get to the look and some final thoughts at the end of the video. So these shadows actually don't have any names, so I'm just going to swatch them row by row. In first row here, okay, so let's go ahead and get started. My eyelids are primed using my Too Faced Multi-Sculpting Concealer in the shade Butterscotch. Nothing new there. So I got a Sephora Pro 10 crease brush, and these shades don't have any names, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with this shade right here. And we're going to see what we come up with. I don't know what I'm going for, but we're going to see. And I'm just going to put this down in the crease. And this just kind of gives us a little light wash of color, which is cool. Y'all see I got my scraggly eyebrows done? Oh, all that little hair and stubble and stuff was driving me crazy. I was finally able to go and see her. makes all the difference in the world when you're doing your makeup. Do you ever feel that way? You know, when you're doing your makeup and you're like, oh, just really need to get my eyebrows done. You know, that would just really make this look a lot better. Even though, you know, you clean up with concealer, you can shape them pretty well. It's just something about having fresh eyebrows. Okay, so I laid that first shade down. So it's kind of like a light wash color, very transitional. It's cool. So we're gonna go ahead, same brush, taking this middle shade. And I might be a little extra. I might just try to use all the mattes, we'll see. Just so we can get a feel of what's going on with this palette. And this shade builds up pretty nicely and gives a lot more color, as you can see. And I'm just putting that in the crease and then blending it in with that first shade we had. Ooh, now it's like really picking up, yep. And I'm just blending back and forth, blending motion, you know. What I usually do. Now, changing brushes, going in with this Morphe M514 brush, okay? I am going to go into this shade, which is a little bit darker. And I'm just gonna, ooh, that one picks up really nicely. Like how pigmented that is. It's very nice. And I'm just kind of focusing a little bit further down in the crease. Kind of have like a nice little gradient going. A shadow, and just picking up a little bit more. Just making sure that crease is just diffused how I like it to be. Now going back in with that first brush, I'm just going to kind of lightly buff out the edges right here. No additional product on the brush. Okay. Now going in with this Sonia G Worker Pro brush, I am going to take the deepest matte shade right here, and I'm going to pack that on the outer V. It seems like this color is a little sheer, but let's see if we can build it up. Let's see. It's starting to, it does build up, but it goes on just a little sheerer than what you would kind of think. And I'm just kind of feathering that into the crease. I'm just going to take a smaller brush, a flat shader brush, see if we can just kind of stipple that in, make it a little bit deeper. Okay, that looks, yeah, that looks better. Now I'm going back in with that Morphe brush, that M5, I don't know why I can't say it, M514 brush. And I'm just going to blend this edge out right here. And so it's looking a little patchy. Okay, so now I picked up my Sigma, and this is a shader lid E56 brush. It is meant for like shimmers and things that are a little bit, you know, stickier in nature. And I am going to go ahead and pick up this shade right here. You can just tap off the excess just a little bit. And what I think I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna layer it here. I'm gonna start here. This shade is actually really pretty. And this shade is not wet. This brush is tiny too, but sometimes, you know, I like my little shader brushes to be a little smaller, only because I get more control. It is actually a really pretty rosy, dark rosy shade. Now I'm going to leave the middle open. We're going to kind of do a little halo, but we got a little smoke to the outer corner. I do have like a tiny bit of fallout. But as you can see, these shades are applying really nicely. And I did not wet the brush. And I'm just kind of feathering this part up right here. I wiped that brush off really well in my makeup towel. And I'm going to go in with the lightest shade right here, the lightest shimmer shade. And I'm going to pat that in the middle. Ooh, that turns out really pretty. So it's just a nice little spotlight. But I am going to go ahead and wipe the shade real quick. So I got my all-nighter setting spray right here. Going in again with the same brush in that middle, that light shade right there. And I'm going to spray my brush. Let's see if we can make that pop a little bit more. Yeah, and it does. I'm back in that same little Morphe brush. Just going to kind of zhuzh up my blending. And I want to go back in with that more red shade right here. Pick up a little bit more and run it kind of like on the outside. Yep. Just to give a little bit more definition. And that came out like really pigmented when I put it up there. That shade is really nice. It's really pigmented. And I'm just wiping that brush off, and I'm going to go back in with this shade just to kind of blend that out. Okay, I'm gonna do the other eye lashes, do the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my eyes are done, and I added on my lashes. I'm using the Ardell Demi Wispy lashes, and I just put on a tiny bit of black eyeliner just to kind of give the lashes something to stick to, but you really don't see them here. So I thought it might be fun to kind of do the rest of my face on camera, because I always skip over that part because a lot of times I'm doing several looks on camera, so the video won't be too long. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap up the rest of the face. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Fenty, and this is the Pro Hydrating Primer, and I just go ahead and take a little bit right here, and I definitely usually concentrate it right in this area. This primer feels so good on my skin. It feels so moisturizing. It is just like heaven. Put it here. And then I just take a little dab also and just put some up on my forehead. I usually don't put too much makeup up on my forehead, so most of my foundation coverage that I do use is like usually down in this particular region. So now I'm going in with my Fenty Hydrating Foundation, and this is the shade 385, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of put a couple little dabs right here, and it turns out to probably be like maybe I don't know if it's a pump, maybe 3/4 of a pump. And I'm going to go in with my Sigma Flat Angle Kabuki brush. And this is the F88. I don't know if I was telling you guys, but I bought a lot of Sigma brushes. I bought mostly for the face, because I just really need more face brushes. And then I did buy like a couple, quite a few face brushes. But mostly, I just said face brushes, but a few eye brushes. But I really like the Sigma brushes. They are a nice option if you can't like afford Sonia G or Wayne Gus. They run sales. They have Afterpay and Ebates. So yeah, you end up winning. And they have really nice, they stand by the quality of their brushes. They come with a 2-year warranty if you're not familiar with that. So super dope. Okay, so pretty much got my coverage the way I want to have it. I'm going to do a little light concealer underneath my eye. Okay, I'm going to go in with Fenty 370 concealer. So that is like my other shade that I wear. This one's going to give us a little bit of lightness, just a little bit, just doing a lot. I don't like heavy face makeup. I just don't. And this is a 4D Angle Kabuki brush by Sigma. And it's great because it's like, it gets everywhere. It has like that great point. It's super dirty. I'm about to wash all my brushes as soon as I finish filming. But it blends in concealer like a dream. I am good there. And since I have dry skin, I don't set my concealer. Every once in a while, if I feel like I need it, if I'm used, like maybe something's going on, and I'm like, I might set it, and that might be with, I have the Fenty powder, but it was too dry, so I might dust a light bit of my Maybelline Fit Me powder underneath there, but other than that, no. Okay, so let's go back in with the eyes. Just hit up the bottom lash line. I do have on my inner rim, I have my Pat McGrath Permagel liner in the shade Extreme Black. Taking my little lovely Tarte brush that I love so much, y'all know. I am going to go in with this deep shade. We're going to see how it works. And I'm just taking it on the corner of the brush right here. And I'm just going to run this like underneath the lash line. Just give it a little bit of, tie it all in. Whew, that part be ready to take me out. I don't know about anybody else, but this part sometimes, if you have watery eyes, like you try to hit that lower lash line, it's not always the move. Okay, so that added a little bit of smoke, not like a lot, but I just wanted something there. And just because we haven't used it, let's just go ahead and say that we basically used almost all of the shades in the palette, but we really haven't. It's 2 shades that we didn't use, this shade and this shade. I have used this shade before, but y'all know I love colors like that, so I was trying not to like be so darn predictable. And I can't remember. I might have used this brown shade before. This look is looking really pretty. Really, really pretty. We want to do a little inner corner. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to take that same brush, pick up a little bit, dab some right in there. Taking my Bad Girl Bang Mascara by Benefits Cosmetics. I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom lash line. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit underneath here, just to make sure my lashes are blended in. Okay, my eye looks a little red right here. Sorry. I just started coughing again. Like I'm battling the tail end of my sinus infection. I'm going to go ahead and take this blush called Construct. This is from the Makeup Shayla / ColourPop collection. I think it's still available. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if it's discontinued. But I don't have a lot of blushes, y'all. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one because it's just a brown color. And you can use basically any brown color. My complexion pulls really red, so sometimes when I'm wearing like a lot of mauvey, pinky tones, I don't like to do pink blush because then I just look red all over, if you get what I mean. So sometimes I like to just go in with a more nude color blush. What is it? It's a blush by MAC called Sweet as Cocoa. But I didn't have it and I wanted to buy it, but then she came out with this and I was like, yes, more affordable option. Plus you get a little bronzed look, very terracotta-y. So I like this. Like I said, like my regular pink blush, I can't say blush. If I use that, like I said, I would just look so pink sometimes. It's just, yeah, it's too much. This is a little Christian Siriano brush that I use. Now, going in for highlighter, taking another little Christian Siriano brush. This brush is amazing for highlighter. So going in with Juvia's Place, this is the Heroin Glow one. This came out last year during Black Friday. It is still available. This is a beautiful highlighter. And it's just a really nice gold color. And it can be very glowy. And you see I have not wet it, so I'm not going to go overboard. But look at that. Look at that glow. I'm really feeling this makeup. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set using my all-nighter setting spray. And sometimes I cover my eyes and sometimes I don't, so I'm just going to be completely transparent. I know most people like cover their eyes. But that's literally what I do. Okay. And I usually kind of hold my head back because my mirror is right here, so I won't have like particles all over my mirror. And then like vanity that's behind me, you know, it has that, it's that mirrored glass vanity. So if I hold myself back, I won't have, you know, all these little deposits of stuff on my vanity. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish up with the lips. Going in with Cork Lip Liner. It's probably a little bit too light, but God knows where my chestnut is at the moment. Like, that's the liner that loves to disappear. It's probably in my purse, but then a lot of times when I check my purse, it don't be in my purse. Or either I overlook it. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know. You all know. Like something you always carry with you, and then it's just like, You had it, then you can't find it. You find it again, and you're just like, what is really going on? So I'm gonna go in with Court. Okay, and I'm kind of fill it in here to rub the liner in a little bit so it's just not so harsh. Now going in with an oldie but a goodie. I am using the Urban Decay 1993 Comfort Matte Lipstick. This is one of the Vice lipsticks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. I haven't worn this color in such a long time, but it's such a pretty color. Look at it. It's such a great brown. 1993 by Urban Decay. And I like the Comfort Matte formula because, like, it's matte, but it's comfort, but the lips don't look crazy. All right, so we are done. This is the final face. I'm going to pull out a little bit so I'm not so up here with you. Okay, I'm back, and this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it came out beautiful, and this palette was actually really easy to work with. And like I said before, I have used it one time, and I wore it to work. And you know, I love a palette that I can like wear to work, wear out, wear in between. I like just versatile things like that, or things I can kind of get away or manipulate to make them versatile. But this palette is so nice, and it is a really beautiful set of colors, and I definitely think that if you're my complexion or deeper, it's definitely going to look so beautiful on you. Now, I would say one thing about this particular palette, the Rich palette, and really all of them in general, they do pull a more mauve-y, pinky / red tone. So if that is not your style of nudes, then this collection probably just won't be for you. But I love shades like this. When I think of nudes, these are my particular kind of nudes. I love nudes that look like this. These, you know, right here, I had to hold back from using this particular color because I absolutely love cranberry reds, Bordeaux, things that are that shade, like they just speak to me. But I think that you have just the right amount of mattes in this palette and just the right amount of shimmers. So you, like, even if you're kind of bored, it's like, okay, I got 4 shimmers. All the colors complement each other so well that when you put one next to each other, it kind of emphasizes the other one, brings out the best in, you know, in all the shimmers, if that makes sense, you know. So it's just not like you're getting one look out of this palette. It's a 9-pan palette, but you can get so many different looks. You can go daytime, you go nighttime. Put this in your bag. You have a great palette for travel, but great palette if you're somebody that's on the go, need to do your makeup on the go, and this palette can transition with you throughout your busy day or your busy schedule, or whatever is going on in your life. So I do think that this palette will definitely work for women who are deeper than me. And I actually think that on my complexion that the medium palette would have probably worked on me just as easily, but this is just more my vibe. And I really wasn't looking for like something nude and ooh, like subdued. You know, that's not really always my makeup style, but this particular color story really spoke to me, the deeper tones, because I love how deep the mattes get and how you have this beautiful red terracotta. You got a nice terracotta shade right here. You have a chocolate brown. Now, the only shade to me that was just like, and I don't know, I think I used it before when the last time I did a look with this palette when I wore it to work, but I might not have noticed it at the time, but I noticed it today that it was just a little patchy and didn't come off as deep as I needed it to at the beginning, but it is definitely a buildable color. So to me, like, this is the one shade that maybe needs a little bit of work, but other than that, all the mattes were so beautiful and easy to blend out. I did not have an issue with them. And they pull darker, because a lot of times I think with Huda's palettes, and especially her bigger palettes, we don't get enough deep mattes. So that can always just be an issue, because if you're my complexion or darker, it's just like you only have 2 mattes to deal with that are darker, but you don't want to put that as your transition shade. You don't want any dusty mattes as your transition shade. That's just not going to work. So I really think that this palette is going to work for a lot of different people, and just because of the amount of pigmentation that I was getting, especially this shade right here is super pigmented. Definitely going to be able to amp up your looks using this shade. But overall, I think that the color story is great. The price point is $29. They were $27. So I don't know if she's upping it because of the type of package. But honestly, I do like this package just a little bit better. So I don't mind paying the extra $2 because you have like this embossed kind of faux leather packaging. And it's the nude is embossed and it's raised. And to me, it just looks a little bit more sleek and luxurious versus the other packaging that she's been doing for these little 9-pan palettes. So just to reference so you can see, I pulled out my Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette. So they're basically like the same size. So the packaging on the nude one is just a little bit bigger. But honestly, like, it looks cute, but this packaging just looks better than this. You know what I mean? It just looks more luxe. Where it's just like, ooh, what's this? And then it's like, oh, well, that's cute. The quality of these particular nude palette is really good because, like I said before, I have had issues with these particular 9-pan palettes from Huda Beauty in the past where some of them are very hit or miss. So I'm glad that this one worked out, and I think it's going to be a perfect palette for a lot of different people because it's nude. People love their neutrals no matter how they try to say they want something different. But at the end of the day, people do love their neutrals, and I just think that overall it's just a beautiful palette. So let me know what you guys think about the palette down below. Have you picked it up? Have you tried anything from this nude collection that she has released? I think she did a great job with making sure that every skin tone or skin complexion group was basically covered with these particular palettes. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are thinking about it, because you know I love to chat with you guys about makeup. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here with me, and we do like the best chair dances of all time. So if you're actually wondering where the chair dance came from, and when I did my very first YouTube video, which is actually on Pat McGrath Mothership 5, at the very end of the video I was just so elated that I finally filmed it, got it, all my content together, that I was just like, I did it, I filmed my first video. But I love to dance. Anybody that knows me knows I love to dance, and I have a mean chair dance, and I have a mean dance on the regular dance floor, okay? Because I do not play, okay? So we're going to do the chair dance. Chair dance, chair dance, chair dance, chair dance, chair dance. All right, y'all. Bye.